Welcome back to another doubleheader, Monday doubleheader. And how good is it to have some rugby league to watch on a Monday? Anzac Day, long weekend, let's do it. Dragons, Roosters, Warriors, Storm. Let's go. They're still doing warm-ups. The game hasn't started yet. They're taking the stage down. That's what's happening. They're dismantling the stage, and they're trying to get that all out of the way. So the teams are just going through a little bit of a warm-up at the moment. I guess they didn't really think about that. I mean, they've got a stage on wheels, but they seem to be having a little bit of trouble getting the stairs apart. So while they're going through that, this does give us an opportunity to run through a couple of multis. Hey, there's someone there in a suit having a warm-up with the boys. I wonder who that is. He's obviously not playing. Either that or he's an extremely valuable ringer from overseas or something. Yes, so a chance to quickly run through the multis that I've got happening at the moment. So 4 legs. Sydney Roosters, fixed win. Ravalawa, Tedesco, and Tupou, anytime try scorers. I've got a good feeling about that one. Ravalawa's the only one who's a bit of a concern because he doesn't seem to get over the try at will against the higher-ranked teams, does he? So that's a bit of an interesting one, but I'm pretty confident about Tedesco and Tupou. I probably would have had a bet that only included Tedesco and Tupou and the Roosters, but that, of course, is completely not worth it. It always adds to the value of a same-game multi if you add at least one player from both teams. So that's the path that I went down, of course. Oh, Facebook, I've forgotten all about you guys again. I'm so sorry. Facebook. I need the chat room. There we go. All right, Facebook. I won't be ignoring you. Kanye Ketchup. I thought about a double against the Warriors. I just wasn't sure who to pick. Pappenhausen's another good choice. I'm probably leaning towards that one. Ryan Pappenhausen double. At least. Ryan Pappenhausen hat-trick, maybe even. Pappenhausen for 4. I wonder what the odds of that are. But anyways, this game is now underway. Roosters, Dragons, Anzac Day. Long weekend. Expect a lot of passion. A lot of commitment in this first set of 6. And that's exactly what we've seen. Solid runs, solid defense. And this has started with the intensity you would expect. Just going through the motions here, of course, setting the scene, a very typical start to a game. 5th and last Dragons, 40 metres out. And that was a good first set, defensively, by the Roosters. Dustin Fisher, you welcome back too, mate, over there in the US of A. Big defense there from the Dragons. Dragging him backwards. So as well as the Roosters started defensively, the Dragons are up for this too. I just don't see how the Dragons hold on for 80 minutes, really. Even though the Roosters, they're not in great form. I just don't see where the Dragons hold on for 80 minutes against a team like the Roosters. Unless, of course, the Roosters just have a stinker. Fifth and last now. They are just inside Dragon's side of halfway. Which was a good place for them to end up, really, considering how the set started. Last 5 Anzac Day games. Dragons 2018, Roosters 13-12. Dragons 24-8. Roosters 2010, Roosters 34-10. Am I feeling better? It's been a pretty big birthday weekend for me as well, you know. It's not just been a big weekend of footy games, it's been a big weekend and sport in general. You know, I sat up last night to watch the Formula One. So that ran till about 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm not going to lie, I could use another couple of days' sleep. Walker dummies goes himself. They do not fall for that one, though. And he is wrapped up on tackle 5. But the Roosters are 30 metres out. They are winning the battle of the territory right at this moment, early in the game. And big defence here from the Roosters again. It's like a mall. A mall in the rugby union at the moment, because you had Dragon. A kick on the second tackle here from Ben Hunt. He's seen something that we haven't. He's looking for a 20-40. Tedesco's back there, though. Wow, a kick on the second tackle. And I've got to say, the way that they were looking in that set of 6, it probably was not the worst option that he could ever have taken. If he finds a 20-40, he's a genius. He just didn't quite get the angle, though. Tedesco, there's one of our try scorers. Oh! That's a back slam, and that's big trouble. Zac Lomax has had another brain fart. Wow. Well, I mean, you're not allowed to do what he just did and just slam a player down on their back, but I'm not totally convinced that Tedesco was held there. And Zac Lomax obviously wasn't convinced that Tedesco was held, and that's why he went with the second effort. But regardless of what the second effort was, that's the problem. There was a clear back slam. Felt like I was watching wrestling for a moment. But the end result of all that is the Roosters hot on attack. And a big opportunity here to get the first points. Sure ball, very, very flat ball there. To Tupanua. Through the back line, Walker. Manu, always threatening the line. Manu, look at that. He drew in 4 defenders. 4 defenders it took to bring him to ground. He commands a lot of attention. Tupanua again. That's where the play dies. No, he offloads to Kiri. Dummies. Even I fell for it. That's touched, and that'll be knock on, and they'll be off the hook. The Dragons survive. What a dummy from Luke Keary. I'm trying to call the game, and I fell for it. I'm looking across the other end of the field, trying to find the footy. He's still got it. Roosters' attack was looking really good there, but just a drop ball, just fingertips to it from Angus Crichton. And that brought that whole thing to a close, and the Dragons survive. So whilst the Dragons pack down this scrum, let's have a look at the tipping. The Wasted World of Sports tipping contest on NRL.com. And I should imagine that there's a lot of tips for the Dragons. I mean, for the Roosters, sorry. Yep, Roosters across the board. 100%. 100% of the tipping contest. 100% of 19 people have gone for the Roosters today. Wow, that is overwhelming. Absolutely overwhelming support for the Roosters in this game. Even the most hardcore of Dragon supporters has gone for the Roosters. And maybe when Dragon supporters start jumping off in the tipping contest, not a good sign. And Ben Hunt, maybe this is a big part of the reason why, because up went the ball, out went the ball, on the full. And the Roosters starting the set inside Dragons territory again. Ed Vogel says, up the Roosters. Seems like it's going to be pretty comprehensive. I've never seen that so far. Like, not even for a Melbourne Storm game or a Panthers game have I seen absolutely everybody all on the same page. 100% of the tips going to one team. Never seen that. Tackle 4 now for the Roosters. 20 metres out. And this will be another opportunity. Can they just get through the set, though? Can they complete? Momirovski settles at 10 metres out on the left-hand edge. Fifth and last. Keary doesn't really give his guys much time to get through to that, but it's worked out all right for them. Mbai has taken that one. Just takes it to ground. And it will be a dropout from under the post. Dragons calling for a knock-on here against the Roosters, but I don't think so. No, absolutely not. They can blow up all they want, but turned out to be a very good kick in the end. I mean, I don't think he really left enough opportunity for his guys to get up and contest the ball, but it did leave enough time for them to get through and put pressure on the kick receiver. And they got a result. And the result is 6 more tackles. And tackle 1, 30 metres out. And it will be another attacking opportunity if they complete. As a matter of fact, it's not even tackle 1 because they just got a 6 again. And that is now tackle 1 for the Roosters. Hot on attack. Dummy runners everywhere. Momirovski's got the ball again. That's what we want. Oh, he's been grabbed. He's over the sideline, and the Dragons hold on again. Could not quite get his butt down to the ground there, Momirovski. Just couldn't get himself down. He's trying. He's held there, but he's in touch. And that was very early in the tackle count. And that, you must say, is another wasted opportunity. I mean, credit to the Dragons for holding on. Absolutely. But another wasted opportunity, really, for the Roosters. Why they were pushing the sideline that early in the tackle count, they might want to have that over again. But they can't. You're not allowed any redos. And now, a penalty to the Dragons. And I would not at all be surprised if the Dragons get down the other end and score a try on the back of this, because how often do we see it? How often do we see just a period of 10 or 12 minutes of dominance by one team in the other's territory, and they don't come away with points, and then the first time the other team gets a sniff down the other end, boom, try time. So let's see what happens here. It's a big opportunity now for the Dragons. They held on. And now, 20 metres out on tackle 3, they've got a chance to launch an attack themselves. Right in front of the post and straight through. Francis Molo. What did I just say? Oh, what did I just say? What was I just saying? For 10 minutes, one team just withstands everything. They get their first sniff down the other end and they score easily. And it doesn't get much easier than that. The big fella's just gone straight through. Almost untouched. And I don't think anybody had Frank Molo for first try scorer. But if you did, you'd be getting a pretty good payday right about now. And the Dragons, whose own supporters have even given up on them in our tipping contest, at least. First on the board. And looking good, must be said. Victor, ahoy there. Welcome along. It is amazing how often you see that happen, though. Really crazy stuff. One team hot on attack for large periods of time. Can't come away with any points, and then boom, straight down the other end. First visit. The other team makes it look very easy. Who saw this coming? Very unhappy looking Roosters supporters in the crowd. Matt Tinker, ahoy. Welcome along. You know, we're starting to get to the point of the competition where upsets each week become a thing. You know, the Tigers have started showing up and playing. Tigers have already beaten a couple of teams they weren't expected to beat. They did it again this round. Could the Dragons? Very early days. Very, very early days. There's only 14 minutes been gone in this game. So it's extremely too early to be talking about upsets. But, I mean, solid start in defense from the Dragons. Solid start on attack now. Could it be? Could it be? I always get very nervous when I see a team just so far down in the dumps that even their own supporters are writing them off. And I was just looking through the Wasted World of Sports tipping contest and seeing that not even the most diehard of Dragons supporters have tipped the Dragons today. It started getting me thinking, you know, you write off an NRL club at your own peril in most cases. When everybody, even their own fans, start writing a team off, that's when a team sort of finds a way to lift. And Manu's in big trouble here. Big trouble here. Manu, he can't even stand up. And this would be a huge loss in the back line for the Roosters. And he is struggling to put weight. No, he can't stand up right now, Manu. Oh, this is huge. This is a big moment. This is a very big moment. Oh, he's getting a nice leg massage, though. Lucky bugger. Probably not the circumstances you want a leg massage in, though, if he's like broken something. Okay, he's up. He's up. He's up. He's putting weight on it now. Very gingerly, but he's putting weight on it. So he'll be right, I think. Robert M. Everybody took the Roosters, mate. I was actually just talking. I think this is the first game where legitimately 100% of the competition has gone for one team. James Intox, ahoy. 100%, 19 of our 19-strong Wasted Water Sports tipping contest have all gone for the Roosters, which started to get me very worried. I get very concerned when even teams' own supporters rate them no chance, and not a single one of them has gone for the Dragons. Everybody's missed that one. That ball's Zac Lomax is threatening. Oh, that was very messy. That was extremely messy. And Zac Lomax nearly won the race to that ball. And it was Tupou who's tried to whack the ball dead, but all he's managed to do is whack the ball straight up in the air, and Ravalawa's nearly come down with it for a try. If the dead ball line was about 15 metres longer, well, probably not even that long, about 5 metres longer. Robert, we saw the end of the... Because I sort of... I had my birthday party on Saturday, and we sort of forgot that the game was on. Is basically what happened. We completely forgot the game was even on, so we didn't have it on till like the last 10 minutes or so. But it was a very exciting last 10 minutes. And, the Bunnies are a team I don't particularly care about one way or another, so... And there was at least there was a couple of Tiger supporters in the house, so I was happy to jump on board with the Tigers. As the Tigers fans in the house had big regrets about not tipping their team at that moment. Like, we just didn't have faith that they'd be able to do it twice in a row. And that's a little bit of a high tackle there, 6-on-6. Bird on Walker. I'm not convinced. I thought it was a hand around the shoulder, I thought, but let's have a look. Yeah, well, let's look. It's hit the ball, but it slipped up. Contact with the head. That's a penalty. What can you do? It's unfortunate, but what can you do? It's a penalty. There was contact with the head. It doesn't matter anymore if it's ball first and then slides up. Contact with the head is contact with the head. It's pretty clear cut. But we now have... Oh, there's cut-out ball to Tupou. They fired that a bit too early there, Teddy. And it is tackle 3. 10 metres out from the Dragons' line. So this is their chance to hit back. Tenzin. Oh, here's some space. Walker's gone straight through a gap. We are going to have a look at the obstructions here. We are going to have a look at the obstruction. You know what I always say every game? If it looks too easy... There's a chance some shenanigans went down, and we are going to have a big look at this one. Going up is no try. Tenzin, how are you, mate? Roosters. Roosters with the line, yeah. The line was just a little too big for me, to be perfectly honest. I would have gone Roosters. Roosters on the line. Yeah, and that's a pretty clear cut. You see some dodgy ones, but that's a pretty clear cut obstruction, and that is no try. And it will be the Dragons holding on again. They're just hanging on in there, the Dragons. Yeah, so as Tenzin said, the Roosters had a 12.5 line, which really put me off the line. I would have boosted the value in my multis by going with the line, of course, but I'm not convinced about the Roosters at the moment to be able to cover the line. They're not in the greatest of form. They've threatened a few times to find top gear. They just haven't quite... Oh, that's close. He's nearly dumped him on his head there. That was very, very risky stuff. The 12.5 was just a little too steep. I think it was like 9.5 maybe. Which probably sounds really inconsequential, but I think 8 or 9.5 points was probably a more justifiable line for today, personally. Now, Mbire's gone through. It was obstruction at the other end. It has to be obstruction this end because the precedent has been set. And that's a penalty to the Roosters now. 2 obstructions in the space of 2 sets of 6. All right. It's game on now because here comes... It's game on one way or another because here comes Jared Warrera-Hargraves. He's up, he's warming up, he's getting ready to come on, and that means something is going to happen. It's either going to be great for the Roosters or it's going to be detrimental to them. We'll see which one it is tonight. Mark O'Brien. Mark O'Brien says, here comes the dog. Woof. Oh, Victor Radley's up as well. They're sending for the reinforcements, the Roosters. Victor the Inflictor and Hargraves. They're up. They're up and warming up on the sideline. Baden, ahoy, mate. Welcome back. Tedesco dummies and goes himself. Go, son. Still going, Tedesco. Oh, that was so close. That would have been great for my multi. That would have been fantastic for my same-game multi. And a 6 again. Ruck infringement. Walker dummies. He really wants that try, Walker. Dummies and goes himself. And they are... Oh, now Kiri dummies and goes himself. Is that the only play they've... It's like they're afraid to pass now after that obstruction. Collins tries to crash over. But the Dragons' defense is just too good at the moment. From dummy half. And he's held up from dummy half, and they just seem to refuse. Oh, Walker's limping. Sam Walker's limping. Let's see if he twisted his foot here in the tackle. He got his foot in an awkward spot. Tedesco going for the line. 5th and last now. They're still just a metre out. The Dragons' defence, though, my goodness. The kick is rushed. Ravalawa takes it, and the Dragons, say what you will, but you've got to applaud this defensive effort from the Dragons. My God. Trying to sneak a very relieving penalty there, the Dragons, but the referee not falling for it. It's the 5th and last now. They are only 35 metres out from their own line. But the important thing is, there's still a 0 on the scoreboard next to the Roosters. And that's the important thing for the Dragons. Their defence is really stood up at the moment. But as I said, oh, Teddy, what have you done? Tedesco with the unforced error. You do not see that very often. And after withstanding another 7 or 8 minutes on their own line, the Dragons, remember what happened last time? What happened last time? They withstood all that attack and then got a sniff down this end. Are we suddenly looking at 12-0? Trent Robinson can't believe it. I can't believe it. James Tedesco does not often make mistakes like that one. Robert says, how's Moose Maguire going? He's got the 16 on for the Dragons. I did wonder about that, actually. I've noticed that there's a lot of... Like, there's the two starting prop forwards. Burgess and Taukeiaho, they're both wearing number 17. You've got Josh Maguire started in the 16. You've got Nat Butcher for the Roosters starting at lock, wearing the 16. Like, there's a lot of interchange players who are actually starting in their positions in this game. I'm like, I wonder what happened. Did a bunch of people, like, fall over in the warm-up, or... It's unusual to see that many interchange numbers in the starting lineup. Cut out ball to nobody from Ben Hunt, and that play dies. Well, it's been knocked on. And the Roosters get away with that one. We're not going to see it twice in a row where the Dragons hold on, withstand it all, and then come back down the other end and score easily. So, yeah, very interesting stuff there with the interchange. Oh, here they are. And it's another mistake for the Roosters. This time, Tupou. Oh, Jack Bird's hurt. Jack Bird's really hurt. He's grimacing in pain. And we've got a captain's challenge here for the caller knock on. Come on, Jack Bird, you're in my multi. Get up. Jack Bird, of course, former Sharkies player. He was on fire when he played for the Sharks. When he was playing for the Sharks, not only was he part of the premiership winning squad, he also represented New South Wales. Well, he's just knocked that on. That is, I mean, I'm sorry, but that's just a knock on. Oh, no, he said his knee. Okay, I see. I see, he whacked his knee. Oh, and he's screaming in pain already, and he goes straight for his ankle. Jack Bird. And he's in a lot of pain and a lot of discomfort. He's up, though. Yeah, so challenge unsuccessful because, you know, he just put he put the ball on the other player's knee to try and play it. So the Dragons have still got a red-hot chance here. Zabellin just settles it down. Tackle 2. They're only 5 meters out. Tackle 3. Not really threatening at the moment. Not much doing here for the Dragons. They need some form of set play or something. Here they go. They're going wide now. Good. Oh, no, not good defense from Manu. But he did enough to make him fall over. And it's the 5th and last now. What do they do here, the Dragons? They're looking for Ben Hunt to kick high. It's touched by Momirovski. It's dropped by Momirovski. And it is a try for Jaden Sewer. And Aaron Woods is on there celebrating as if he did something other than stand there like the big galoot that he is. Players are onside. Momirovski goes up for it. Momirovski drops it. Sewer is there to swoop on it and clean up the pieces. And I nearly had Jaden Sewer in my same-game multi instead of Ravalawa today. And I'm regretting that decision now. Yeah, James Intox, I had no confidence in the Dragons. I had no confidence in the Roosters to cover the line, let alone go for a 13-plus in this game. The line, I think, was at 12.5 points. So a very similar bet. Cover the line, 12.5, or to win 13-plus. It's pretty much identical bet. I didn't have any faith in it whatsoever. So I decided to go, hang on, wait. The bunker has intervened here. The bunker. Are they here to save the day for the Roosters? Is the bunker about to make a huge call here? Oh, if he's touched it with the tip of his middle finger. It's brushed and knocked his fingernail off. If he's got any sort of touch on that ball at all. Yeah. There was no way that could... Why did we even stop to have a look at that? I don't understand why at that point in time we even needed to stop and look at that. But anyway, they didn't bollocks around for too long at least. They got to the decision very quickly, and that's all you can really hope for. Get to the decision nice and quick. And the decision is a try under the post, and we are about to be looking at Dragons 12, Roosters 0. Allow me to just say that again. After this kick at goal, from right in front, we are looking at Dragons 12, Roosters 0. And to be perfectly honest, they've done it on the back of Roosters' mistakes and a very solid defensive game, because they have not really shown anything on attack. I mean, the Dragons, they're not... And what I mean by that, they're not making meters at will. They're not tearing the Roosters open in attack. They're not really running any set plays. They're just going through the motions, waiting for the Roosters' mistakes, and then just doing the basics right, holding onto the ball and capitalizing on them. There's been no real attacking flair or anything like that, is what I mean. They've just defended solidly, completed their sets better, got to the other end of the field and taken their chances, and the Roosters have been throwing chances at them. The Roosters are the team that's making all the play on attack. They're just getting repelled every single time with amazing Dragons defense. Again, fifth and last here. Deep in their own territory. That's a good run, though, from Maguire. 35 metres out on the fifth and last for a very limited gain. And that's what I was talking about, you know. They're not gaining a lot of metres per set of 6. But they're getting to the end. They're completing. They're putting the kick in. They're chasing hard. They're defending well. Daniel Tupou cleaning a big loogie out of his... Oh, Mark O'Brien says, told you, here come the big red V. They are definitely making the Roosters pay for all their mistakes so far in this one. And they're making a lot of them. A lot of mistakes here from the Roosters. Fifth and last now. They're back in Dragons territory. 30 metres out on the fifth and last. Short side kick for Keary. Oh, and that's off the Roosters. And a knock on first by the Dragons, says the referee. And that's a result for the Roosters. And they might want to think about putting some points on the board soon, the Roosters. And it was a knock on. Moses Mbai into James Tedesco's nose. Oh, you reckon? I mean, he'd have to be happy. Mark O'Brien says Beck Griffo got a smile on his face. He'd have to be happy, but it might be a little bit too early just yet to be smiling too much. There is still a long way to go in this one. After the first 5 minutes, I said it looks like the Dragons are up for this, but I don't know. Are they going to be able to keep it up for 80 minutes? So it is a little bit too early to be smiling too much, but I'm sure he's very happy with how things are going so far. Tupou is again, by the time he receives the ball, there's 4 Dragons out there to meet him. And they are just shutting down. The Roosters are trying to go wide, but it's just shut down every time. That cutout ball to the wing where they're so used to finding space. All they're finding are big red V's right in front of them. Walker steps, goes himself. He is very keen for a try today, Sam Walker. And the defense again. Again, the defense from the Dragons. Just repelling everything. And there's a reason that they're forcing the Sam Walkers and the Kearys to dummy and run on their own, because they're shutting down their go-to plays. They are so used to throwing those cutout balls to the wings and space just being there. But there's no space there tonight. But again, you can't help but just stand here and applaud this defensive effort from the Dragons. And again, look at this, tackle 3 on attack. Obviously, you're not going to play extremely expansive every play when you're 10 meters out from your own line. But again, just not making meters. Tackle 4 now, just past the 20-meter line. So just doing it very, very simply at the moment, the Dragons. Get through your set, put a big kick in, as big as you can. Actually, they're running here on the 5th and last, and there's space. Lomax, he's got Ravalawa outside. Inside, it's touched, it's going to be 6 again, and he's knocked the ball on tackle 1. Huge tackle. Who made that tackle for the Roosters? Because whoever made that tackle for the Roosters may have just saved this game. Ravalawa was outside. Bird was inside. He went inside. Oh, it was Suwali with a huge, monstrous hit. And the Dragons knock the ball on tackle 1 when they just got a 6 again. Amazing play. Both teams. Running the ball on the 5th and last, the Dragons. Nobody was expecting that. Oh, what's happened here? Somebody's been taken out. Dustin Fisher says, it's me today. I swear whoever I've picked has lost since like 3 hours ago. Oh, hey, Dustin, I'll tell you what. I was blown away. I don't know if you follow the Major League Baseball or not, mate, but I could not believe what I saw the other day with the who was it? Hang on. When the Cubs and the Pirates game. The Cubs-Pirates game, 21-0. Oh, and Ravalawa has done some tunnel ball, but we're not playing tunnel ball. We're playing rugby league. Well, no, Dragons. 6 minutes, 10 seconds to go till halftime. And the Roosters. Oh, Jack Bird's holding his shoulder. Oh, short ball and straight through the gap. It was a forward pass. Victor Radley was in space. It's been called forward, and it probably was. Jeez, I'm not so sure. That's a very line ball. That's a huge call to make on field, to be perfectly honest. Look at the completion rate. 65% completion rate from the Roosters is not good enough. 65% not good enough, Roosters. So that's definitely something they're going to talk about at halftime, is just get through your sets. We're only behind by 12. Don't try and overplay. Dustin asks, do you watch UFC? No, not really. Yeah. Now, here is a penalty to the Dragons. Right in front of the post. In front of the post, 4 minutes to go till half time. You take the two, surely, here. You go 14-0 up. And, yeah, my multis in this game are shot to pieces, aren't they? We don't have a single tick yet. Not one single tick. Oh, well, hopefully the Storm can win me some money in the next game. So I didn't see the standing triangle choke. I did not. I did not. I'm not a Whittaker or Tuivasa fan. I don't know. Yeah, I don't watch often enough to know any of them by name. Trent Robinson. Oh, the look on Trent Robinson's face. If looks could kill, there would be a lot of dead people right now. That halftime speech is going to be something to behold. Yesterday, Kanye Ketchup says, yesterday I needed a Celtic player to score 40. He went on to score 39. Oh, painful. Stephen Jelinek. Ahoy, mate. Isn't it painful when that happens, you know? And 1 point. Like, all you needed was a foul and a free throw or something. That's all you needed. That would have been so painful. Anyways, a minute and a half to go till half time here. Dragons 14-0. And again, fifth and last, that's good carry by Tariq Sims there. And they just get into Roosters territory. But I was about to say, yet again, restricted into their own half. Not making meters on attack, but leading this game so comfortably. It's amazing. I've never seen anything quite like it. Oh, big cutout ball to Momirovski, but Ravalawa is tracking over there and covered it down. I'm pretty keen on a Pappenhausen double tonight. Pappenhausen hat trick, maybe even. Pappenhausen, 3 tries. They're going through the hands here, the Roosters. Teddy finds some space. He's taken down. K Skull M. Ahoy. Set restart. Can they get through this set? Siosiua is up, putting pressure on Sam Walker and trying to break the poor little fella in half. Nice offload there. Sam Walker in space. Momirovski dummies and goes himself and then drops the ball. This is absolutely unreal. And that is half-time. That is 14 points to nil. 14 points to nil. Dragons over the Roosters. Who would have thought? And just these statistics. And this is exactly what I'm talking about. Okay? Dragons 14-0, but look at the possession. 52% possession to the Roosters. They've had the most ball. They've had the most ball. But this is what's killing it. Well, actually, that's evened up a little bit now. They've just updated that to go into halftime. 50-50. But still, like 14 points to nil lead, you would expect one team, that team being the Dragons, the team that's ahead, you would expect to have the most ball. But this is what's killing the Roosters at the moment. The completion rate. 15 of 23. 15 of 23. Completion rate. 65%. And that's been the difference at the moment. And another mistake right there on half-time, which was probably fairly inconsequential. I don't think they were going to be scoring a try anyway. So, not in that situation. The average set distance, the Dragons are on top, but I think that's skewed a little bit because they have made the 2 line breaks to 1. So that's skewed a little bit on the back of like the break that they made when they ran it on the 5th and last. I don't necessarily worry too much about stats like that because, as I said, every time I'm looking at the screen, the Dragons, they're not making a whole lot of territory comparatively. And of course, the Roosters, their average set distance is skewed because they keep making errors. They're not completing as many, so there's not a whole lot to read into that statistic. Effective tackles, 90% effective tackles. Hard to read too much. Stephen Haynes says, please get rid of Momirovski. I'm over him. Really interesting, actually, because I thought Momirovski was the weak link at the Panthers. But he played so well in the final series. He really did. Defensively, I don't think he necessarily offered too much on attack. But when you're playing in that Panthers backline, you don't necessarily need to offer too much in attack, do you? You can be part of that backline and just exist and be made to look a lot better than you actually are. I mean, I hate to say it, but look at what we're seeing from Matt Burton. Matt Burton, what he's dishing up at the Bulldogs at the moment, compared to what he was able to do just existing in that Panthers backline. It's and not just the Panthers, you know. I can, just so that I'm not having to go at Matt Burton. Josh Adokar, what's he doing for the Bulldogs compared to what he was able to do at the Storm on the end of that backline, for example? So it happens. It's not anything against any one particular player. It's just we are seeing now the difference that Momirovski made was probably overstated just because of the company that he was keeping. And now he's in a little bit of a scenario where he is required to do a little bit more than just exist, and he's not having a very good run. But it's interesting because I saw that in him. My dad is obviously a diehard Panthers supporter, and he said something really interesting to me one day. He said how well Momirovski's been going. And I've gone, I must be watching different games. We must be watching completely different games, because I actually feel like he is going to be, if the Panthers don't win the premiership, I've got a feeling he will be the reason. But I had to eat my words. He stood up defensively, and he had a fantastic final series. And he is probably, just to make a complete fool of myself, he was probably a big part of the reason defensively that the Panthers held on in some of those tight games. But anyway, the long and short of all of that is he's not going too well over at the Roosters, is he? Really not doing too well at all in the new squad. That was the eventual point that I was trying to make, and amongst all of that, I just went the extended remix scenic route towards getting to the point, as I often do. So my same game multis are not looking very good here in this game. I suppose I better start thinking about what I'm going to put on for the next game. That first try for Molo in the 12th minute, that was just way too easy. Kanye Ketchup says the riff are Siggy butt brains. Okay, that's an interesting description. One that I've never heard before. It'd be interesting to call somebody that, wouldn't it? It's like, what do you say to that? There is absolutely no retort that you can have to that. It's like, you, person, you're a Siggy butt brain. A what now? I said you're a Siggy butt brain. It's like, what retort can you possibly have for that? Like, a Siggy butt brain. I mean, that's the best kind of insult, though, isn't it? One that there's absolutely no retort for. All right, I need to sort some stuff out. I'll be back for the second half. Halftime here. 14-0. Dragons over the Roosters. Second half coming up very, very soon.
Who's feeling thirsty?
What have you missed so far? Me dying a lot. You know, the usual. I can follow. Oh! How? Hey, what the hell? Oh, God in heaven! Oh! Excuse me. Oh, God! Piss off! Okay, no, you've got to jump when the letters aren't lit up, like now. Oh, not... Why am I so awful? I should point out, cause for a little bit of a celebration. We did just hit 600 subscribers on YouTube. I just got shot in the face. That's not how I intended on celebrating. There you go, Erica Eureka Radio Fire. There's a crap ton of blood. We can watch this for a little bit if you'd like. Well, this is going fantastically well. Oh, God.
That's the Intox game right.
It was a good lot of fun. It really was.
Who's feeling thirsty?
Say ahoy, Illawarra. Look at the camera. Ow! Freaking hell, my elbow. Hello! She's got a face buried in the couch. What are you doing? She's gone. She's gone under the blanket. Illawarra, you're very sleepy. Second half underway. Wasted World of Sports. Oh, that was great. A little bit of a lineup at the urinals. 14-0. Who thought for 1 second that this would be the state of this game? Dragons. Even their own supporters had turned their back on them. Nobody tipped the Dragons in our tipping contest, even the most diehard of Dragon supporters. And look at what they're pumping out today. But this is a much better start from the Roosters. A set of 6, fifth and last, 62 metres gained. Gary with the high ball. Pressure. Ben Hunt has made a meal of it. And he's knocked it backwards, luckily. But what a start from the Roosters. Yo, Nitro Gaming. Yes, we will be sticking around for the Storm Warriors game. Oh, somebody's broken their arm. Who? Hang on, I'm listening to the commentators. Was that Jack Bird? Jack Bird is off. Jack Bird is off the field with a broken arm. He played... Okay, so apparently he broke his arm in that break into backfield. So he played the last 10 minutes of that half, or thereabouts, with a broken arm. What a tough son of a bitch, huh? Tupou through one, offloads to no... Well, he offloads to a Dragons player. I tell you what, though, the Roosters have gone up about 4 levels to start this second half. And the big news out of the sheds at halftime, Jack Bird has a break in his arm. And he is off the field. And that alone is just going to throw the Dragons' attack into a state of disarray. That's huge, that is. Momirovski up out of the line. If you come up out of the line, you've got to make your tackle, not just hold on to... That's not how you try and make a tackle, Momirovski. He literally had the guy around the wrist and was dragging him backwards. You know what it was like? It was like when you're kids in primary school and you're trying to drag another kid to the office. And like, I'm telling on you, come with me. Not how you tackle. Oh, we've got another injury there. Is that Siosiua? Siosiua in a bit of trouble now for the Dragons. And the Dragons, I guess, they put so much effort into that first half defense. They're starting to fall apart here in the second. And it's what I said. I don't know if they can necessarily go the full 80. Oh, he can't even stand up. No, he's broken an ankle. Siosiua now busted his ankle up bad here. Oh, it's snapped. That doesn't look good at all. Ankles aren't supposed to bend that way. The Jack Bird out with a broken arm. Sewer out with a broken ankle, it looks like. He can't even put any weight on that at all. And things are starting to go from bad to worse here for the Dragons. And now an offload. Momirovski is rewarded for rushing up out on the line like a goof because they've passed the ball to him. And things have suddenly got very, very bad here for the Dragons. But they are still up 14-0. But my goodness, the Roosters, they've just gone up. Gear. So they got... If you could have seen the look on Trent Robinson's face in the coach's box, if looks could kill, I can only imagine the serving that he gave his guys at halftime. Oh, great take from Ravalawa. But this is going to be very interesting to monitor. How many of the Dragons will finish this game? Oh, offload, and now the Dragons have decided to go. They're starting to go with it now. Lomax on the fifth and last. They need to get a kick away. Oh, God. They've played hot potato with the ball. A little too much. And Tedesco's got space. Dummies. Goes himself, Tedesco. His ass is hanging out as he makes a break upfield. Manu. Dummies. And this is tackle one now. Roosters. This game has totally flipped, but it's still 0 to the Roosters. Not anymore, it's not, because that, as easy as you like, Tupanua on the back of Tedesco's ass crack break up the middle of the field. Try time. Whoops, there goes my drink. An unopened one. Lucky. The Roosters just came out in this second half. Explosive. And the Dragons just haven't been able to keep up with them. And losing Jack Bird and now losing Jaden Sewer, the crowd has come to life as well. Jack Anthony, ahoy. Yo, Nitro Gaming, can you put the game up instead of tipping? Okay, I will only explain this one time. There's this little thing called copyright. There's broadcasting deals, so there's a little thing called copyright. And if I put the game up on YouTube, not only will my channel get closed down pretty much immediately, because the NRL is all over things like this, I will also be liable. If they decided to sue me, they could, and I would be up for a lot of money. So as much as I'm... Oh, there's Teddy's big ass crack hanging out. Well, it's not big. It's very athletically sized. But you know what I mean. It's a full moon in Sydney tonight for the Anzac Day match. $14-6. The conversion is successful for Sam Walker. And this game is well and truly back on. And that's only 7 minutes into the second half. Well, not even that. 5 minutes into the second half was when the actual try was scored. Game on here at where are they playing? SCG? Suppose they would be. I should know that. Yes, it is the Sydney Cricket Ground. I just looked over at my stat sheet there on the other monitor. It is at the SCG. Oh no, Hargraves. Careful, ref. A knock on in the play of the ball by Jared Warrera Hargraves. And he's not happy about it, but he's done it because there's not even a consideration of challenging. Well, they can't anyway. They have no challenges left. They blew it in the first half. Yeah, they've got 0 challenges left. And that's a knock on. That's just a knock on. That's just a clear... Well, no, it wasn't even a knock on. It was just a... loose play of the ball. So scrum, midfield, 20 metres out here for the Dragons. Options left and right, they go right. And the Roosters have just lifted in defence as well. Driving them backwards every tackle. Post contact meters in the second half so far for the Dragons is probably negative. A try here for the Dragons, I think, makes it very interesting in terms of the overall contest. Hunt tries to go himself through 3 of the biggest guys on the field. It's not going to work, mate. That's not how you do it. You smaller fellas have got to find spaces to run through. It's the 5th and last, and that's repelled very easily. Didn't really fire a shot on attack in that set of 6, the Dragons. Roosters ball, 10 metres out from their own line. And a penalty on tackle 1. Stephen Jelenek, welcome back. Oh, that was a high tackle. Right around the throat. Stephen Haynes says, hold the ball, win the game. It's such an easy game, conceptually, isn't it? Hold the ball, make your tackles. Jacob Takamoana. Shout out me. Hold the ball, make your tackles, score more points than the opposition. It's such an easy game conceptually, isn't it? Dustin Fisher says, can you believe the Cowboys are currently ranked 5th? I cannot. I actually had the Cowboys in a fight for the wooden spoon before the season started. Jack Anthony says, up the Panthers. Indeed, Panthers are going back-to-back this year. Aside from a really unfortunate run of injuries, Keary puts it into the end goal. And Ravalawa, no, it's not Ravalawa back there. But he's caught that in goal. I don't even know who that is, to be perfectly honest. Yeah, Panthers, short of a huge run of injuries or a COVID outbreak or something, but they're going back-to-back and they're going to do it quite easily, I dare say. Like, I don't think even the Storm can go with the Panthers at full strength this season. I said before any games this year at all, I said Panthers Roosters, but Panthers will get lots of players out for Origin and probably get injured. Yeah, but the thing is, the thing about the Panthers this season is Nathan Cleary's already been out to start the year. Sean O'Sullivan came in and played almost better than Nathan Cleary. So much so that he's been snapped up by the Dolphins for their starting number 7. So they don't miss Nathan Cleary anymore. Brian To'o's been out for most of the season. They've got Taylor May, who's come in and scored more tries than Brian Toho usually does. You see what I mean? Like, they've got guys ready to go. So they would have to have, like, a run of injuries that affects their reserve grade as well. Because it seems like they can just slot those guys in at will and replace their frontline guys with ready-made, like-for-like replacements. Oh, what a ball from Momirovski, and now Tedesco lurking up on the inside. Fifth and last, they're 30 metres out again, the Roosters. They're just making metres at will here. And Victor Radley is swallowed by 3 Dragons. Yeah, so the long and short of it is I don't see any issues for the Panthers. Like, even if Nathan Cleary falls over, they're just going to put Sean O'Sullivan in and they haven't lost anything. Twists and turns left to come in this contest for sure. Fifth and last again. Oh, that's been touched by the Roosters, and that's knocked on by the Roosters. And that'll be space here for Ravalauro is what it is. And he's had his head taken off. Tupou has just taken Ravalaro's head clean off his face. His head clean off his face. Hang on. That doesn't quite work, does it? How can you take his head right off his face? But anyways, wow, he took him really high. That's a clothesline. That's WWE style. Jack Anthony says, what do you think of the Sharks this year? I had the Sharks coming 6th before any games. Before we'd seen anything from them, I had them coming 6th. I actually think that they're capable of being a top 4 team. They got shown up a little bit against the Storm, but I'd like to see the return match. I would like to see a return match at Shark Park or PointsBet Stadium, as it's called these days. Jacob Takamoana. If I could lend about $4 billion off you, if you guys want to contribute $4 billion to me to pay the NRL broadcasting rights to be able to show the game on YouTube, I'm more than happy to do that for you. Otherwise, due to copyright, I am not allowed to show the game. But because you guys have actually been nice about it, sometimes I get some, I'll just say it, sometimes I get some dickheads through the chat room. But you guys have been very nice about it. You're just asking the questions. So I will say, if you have a look in the description of the video, then there might be something in there that interests you. Otherwise, I'll send you my PayPal, and I'll accept that $3 or $4 billion, whatever the NRL broadcasting rights are worth. And I promise that I will use the money only on broadcasting rights, and I will happily share the game with you all on YouTube. Yeah, Jack, my summary of that Sharks Storm game, where the Sharks were in it. The Sharks were in it. I don't like to get involved in referee debates. But let's just say, there were some interesting calls that went the Storm's way. let me just say it that way. There were some interesting calls that sort of went in favour of the home team, which happens. But at the end of the day, look, the Sharks had their pants pulled down by Cameron Munster. That shouldn't happen, and I'm sure that they'll tighten that up. Like, the way that Munster was able to just run through untouched and score his try was an absolute mess. The start to the second half, where they let the ball bounce into touch, that shouldn't happen, you know. So they put up a very good effort. But yeah, no, not quite there. Not quite there. A work in progress, but a very good work in progress. Fifth and last here, the Dragons. They're hot on attack, and that's a knock on. Oh, he's called it knock backwards. He's caught. It looked like on screen. It looked like it went about 17 meters forward, but he's called it a knock back, and the Roosters survived that one. Let's have a look at the replay here. Manu. Oh, jeez. You see those get called. You see those get called a lot. Let me just say that. But anyway, that's been called backwards. Roosters survive. That's the outcome of that. The Roosters have survived that. Jacob says, do you like the Cowboys? That's close to the sideline from Kiri. I'm indifferent to the Cowboys. Don't like them, don't hate them. Very surprised that they're up in the top 8 at the moment. Roblox Shorts says, my name is Angelo. Ahoy, Angelo, welcome. Love the Bulldogs. Yeah, I thought the Bulldogs would be doing so much better than they are this season. I actually had them sneaking into the top 8. Pre-season prediction was that the Bulldogs just sneak into the top 8. But that's not looking good at the moment, is it? I thought they recruited very well, the Bulldogs, but they just haven't put it together yet. Jacob asks where I am. I'm from Brisbane, Australia. Brisbane. Oh, there's an offload for Manu. It's gone straight through. Dummies to Tedesco. Tedesco's pissed because he just can't get the ball. He's not happy. Tedesco would have been in under the post, but Manu went the dummy and went on his own. And Tupanua with a kick on the 4th. He will want that over again. And they've made a complete mess of that. A couple of times the Roosters have made a mess of that. Manu needed to pass that to Tedesco. Tedesco's in under the post, but he dummied and went on his own instead. And then the kick on tackle 4 was not on. Tupanua. Big mistake there. Big mistake. Twice. Tackle 1 now for the Roosters, 35 metres out. And again, I've looked up and the Dragons have just gone nowhere in their set of 6. Oh, Woods. Can't make a tackle. Can't make the tackle. Manu on tackle 4. Manu needs to develop getting the ball into other players' hands and not trying to do it all on his own. I know he's in a hot run of form at the moment, but I feel like he's just... Tedesco gets away from 2, and it opens up for him. He's centimetres away from the try line. Centimetres away. Radley with a horrible pass. He was trying to pass that back. Keary puts it into the end goal. It has a horrible, horrible bounce. It's got a terrible bounce for Ravalawa. Although they're saying it hasn't bounced. They're saying that it's come off Ravalawa's foot, I think. This just opened up for Tedesco, though. Through 2. And then it just opened up, but they closed it down just in the nick of time. And this kick from Cleary... Okay, it's come off the Dragons. Good call there by the officials. They're trying to say that he didn't play at it, I think, is what the Dragons are flapping their arms around about. We've got to keep an eye on the time here because there's 17 minutes and 30 seconds to go, and the Roosters still haven't made another dent in the scoreline. So let's just keep an eye on that time left. Still plenty of time for them. Oh, Lomax with the most amazing aerobatic intercept you will ever see. And that was a huge play from Zac Lomax. Taps it up and then dives for it. That's a nice catch on the boundary rope there. But again, where they started that set of 6 off the back of the intercept, now 5th and last, they've only gone like 20 or 30 metres at most. 32 metres. They're just not making territory. Every time I'm paying attention, anyway, they're not making territory here, the Dragons. Yet, they're still ahead. They are still well and truly ahead in this game. I'm just having such a hard time processing these statistics. You feel like it's been all Roosters, but they just can't get out of their own way. They keep making mistake after mistake. It really feels like they should be ahead by about 20 or so points. Yet they've only got one try, one converted try to show for it. 5th and last now. Back into Dragons territory. Keary kicking for distance here. Mbai's back there. Jack Anthony says, who do you reckon wins Origin this year? I think it's actually hard to call this year. Like, the Blues have got a lot of regulars who aren't completely firing at the moment, but what happens when they put that blue jersey on, you know? They put that sky blue jersey. Here's a break now for the Dragons. Oh, he's just been brought down by the back of the jumper. And that's the 5th and last, and they ran it. So yeah, a lot of guys out of form for the Blues, but when they put on the sky blue jumper, and it's a completely different ball game, isn't it? It's the same for the Maroons as well, you know. Queensland have got a lot of players who never really fire for their clubs, but they put on that maroon jersey, and it's like this completely different beast is unleashed upon the world. But yeah, it's a little early to predict, isn't it? In many ways. Now that's been touched by the Roosters. I would have thought. Dragons, I mean. 5th and last. Knock on. Okay, it was touched. It was touched by the Dragons. I thought so. They're challenging. They are challenging that call. It looked like it was touched. Whether or not it was played at, I suppose, is what they're going to have a look at here. We're now starting to get into the territory where the Roosters really need to take advantage of all this momentum and territory and everything. Oh, it hasn't touched anybody, has it? It looked like it had touched, but no. It's going to be Dragons' ball. Will Brian To'o replace Taylor May? Oh, 100% he has to, doesn't he? I mean, I'm sure as well as Taylor May's been going, he knows his role in that Panthers squad, and his role is secondary to Brian To'o, so yeah, I dare say that's pretty much a given. Do you find a space for him, though? I mean, can he do anything else but play on the wing? Do you find a utility role for him in the squad? I don't really know enough about him and his history and whatnot to comment on that, but yeah, left side. I would like to see Feagai's playing centre. Feagai and Crichton are the centres at the moment. I would actually like to see Charlie Staines out. Move Stephen Crichton back to the wing. I know Stephen Crichton really wants to play centre. Well, actually, there you go. Could Taylor May shift to Could Taylor May or a Brian To'o shift to the other wing? Drop Staines out. And then Tago and Crichton can stay in the centres, because I know that Crichton wants to play centre. Pappenhausen is dry humping the air in the Melbourne Storm changing room at the moment. That was a very disturbing sight. So maybe Charlie Staines is in a little bit of trouble there in that Panthers starting squad on the back of Taylor May's red-hot form. But then, do you have an issue? If you're the Panthers, do you then have an issue with two very similar wingers? You've got two identical wingers on the left and on the right. So would that be a problem? Do you need someone like a Staines who's just got pure pace? Fifth and last here for the Roosters. They are centimetres away from the line. What can they come up with? The Dragons just keep holding on, holding on. Manu's not put the ball down yet. He's put it down now. Oh, we have got a very interesting last 10 minutes here in this game. Joey Manu. The Dragons' defense finally just ran out of numbers. 70 minutes into this game. They just did not have the offload covered. Over he went. Well, he actually hasn't grounded it there, has he? He could have made a real fool upon himself there, Manu. Who said Golden Point? Somebody in the chat room a little while ago said Golden Point looking good here. We are well and truly on for Golden Point. Yeah, he didn't ground it the first time. That was really dangerous. You ground that goddamn ball as soon as you get over the try line. I don't ever want to see that again. Ben Hunt is playing. Yeah, he put a very ambitious kick on the second tackle in the first half from inside his own 20. He was looking for a 20-40. He also kicked the ball out on the full once. But outside of that, I think he's been solid. Solid enough. Justifying his spot. $14 points to 12. Inside the last 10 minutes, this game is going right down to the wire. Whoever it was that said Golden Point in the chat room earlier could very well be right. This game could be bound for Golden Point. That was you, James. Yeah, it's looking good. 2-point field goal for the Roosters to send it into Golden Point. How about that? Mbai covers the high ball again. He's done well at the back. Apart from one mistake, he's really shut down the Roosters' kicking game. Just, yeah, one dropped ball from what I can remember. Oh, tackle 4 again. They're just again, every time I look up, the Dragons, they're just not making territory in these sets of 6. Fifth and last now, 40 metres out from their own line. They must have only gone about, 29 metres. Another very limited set. Hunt with the kick. He almost got wrangled in, but he gets the kick away. And it's a decent one. Lots of distance. And Tedesco brings it back to the 20. Walker runs. Goes for the one-on-one strip. They've still got the ball, the Roosters. Jack Anthony says, you think the Storm can beat the Panthers? I think the Panthers are just a class above at the moment. Everyone, Storm included. I don't think the Storm are as good as the... Yes, Manu again! Goes through 1, goes through 2. Ascendancy here for the Roosters, 5th and last. A metre out from the line. 93-metre gain compared to the Dragons, 29. That's the difference here at the moment. Keary rolls it through. Roosters are going to get the ball back. 7 minutes to go. The Dragons just trying to hold on. I think the Storm are not as good a team as they were last season. And they just couldn't quite get the job done against the Panthers last season. And I think that the Panthers are a better team this season with a lot more depth and many more options. Despite the players they've lost, they've got even better players coming through in their place. So it's very hard to see. It's hard to see anybody beating the Panthers, but them. The Panthers could potentially beat themselves. They could get in their own heads and start to think they're unbeatable, and then somebody will come out and do a Dragon-style ambush on them, you know? This Dragons defense The Dragons' defense again. They've taken Keary over the sideline early in the tackle count. And they hold on once more. Wrangled in. Zac Lomax has had a really, really solid game. He was one player in particular that was getting called out, singled out. And he has had a fantastic game tonight, Zac Lomax, it must be said. A penalty there would have been very interesting. Would they have taken the 2 points in a difficult kicking position? Would they have taken the 2? Big defense again here. The Roosters, the Dragons again, just making no yardage. In their set of 6, they've gone probably about 15 metres. 10 even. Hunt from inside the 40. It's no chance of a 40-20. And the Roosters now, 4.5 minutes to go, starting this set of 6 inside Dragons territory. Oh boy, this one's going down to the wire. 2-point field goal for the Roosters. They're going to be a little bit too far downfield, this set of 6, for the 2-pointer. That will be a little bit too close to the post for the 2-pointer. They'll be hoping for a try or a penalty. Walker shapes to kick and then goes himself. They hang back for the kick that he never made. Manu's made the mistake. No. He's just trying to do way too much. He's trying to do way too much all on his own, Manu. This was my criticism of him earlier. He's trying to do it all. He's trying to crash ball over. He's dummying, and it worked out for him before. He scored a try, but I feel like Manu's just trying to do way too much. He needs to learn to be a team man and share that around. And he's got a big career ahead of him, Manu, but the Dragons just hold on again. He's only 25 years old, Manu. He's got a huge career left. He will learn these things. Hunt from inside the 40 again, looking for a 40-20. This is a 40-20 Dragons. 40-20 Dragons. Tupou's just stood there and watched the ball go over the sideline. Hunt has kicked it from inside the 40, and there's another huge cock-up for the Roosters. Ben Hunt with the 40-20, and Tupou's just stood there. Watched it go over the sideline. And there's only 2.5 minutes to go. That could be the game right there, that moment. The Roosters just way too many mistakes today. And the young guys, just a couple of brain explosions there from the youngsters late in this game. That's been the difference. And the Dragons, with their backs against the wall, where even their own supporters have not tipped them in the tipping contest, Wasted World of Sports tipping contest, even their own supporters have not gone for them. They have found a way to win this game, and Ben Hunt's thrown it over the sideline, but it doesn't matter. They've got 2 minutes to hold on here. And the Roosters are going to go all the way down the other end to come away with the points. Now we're starting to think about 2-point field goal. They will potentially be in range for the 2-pointer at the end of this set of 6, because they have been making meters on attack at will. So if it's another set like the ones we've seen, they will definitely be in range. Here's Tedesco in space. Ben Hunt up to make the tackle. Ben Hunt closing down Tedesco on tackle 3. Now there's some space out to the left. Tupanua. Oh, the offload to nobody. Was it touched? Was it knocked on? Walker's got space. He's got support from Tupou. It's been touched. It's gone backwards. It's Dragons ball. And that will be the game. That will be the game. And again, just impatient. Absolutely impatient from the Roosters. They did not need to do that. And Tupou's had a last couple of minutes to forget. Tupou's last 3 minutes has been disastrous. I cannot believe what I've just witnessed. I've just witnessed the Dragons. The Dragons, out of absolutely nowhere, have ambushed the Roosters. The Roosters, this is the same Roosters that I tipped in the preseason to finish top of the ladder, even above the Panthers. And they are making an absolute mockery out of that call. 14 points to 12. No points in the second half. They just held on, the Dragons. They just went, you know what? We're just going to defend. We are going to defend like we have never defended our little butts off before. And we're just going to hold on in this game. They scored no points themselves in the second half. None. Wow, I can't believe what I've just seen. That is insane. Okay, let's whew. Yeah, let's relax. We'll reset, we'll reload. I've got to go set some stuff up for the Storm Warriors game as well. James is off to do his multis. I've got to set some stuff up as well. When does it kick off? When is the 7 o'clock? Okay. 7 o'clock. Okay, so we've got some time. Excellent. 7 p.m. kickoff. So we've definitely got some time to kill. Absolutely unbelievable. I'm so glad that I did that game. I wasn't going to. I was going to sit this game out. I really was. I was going to sit this game out because I thought it was a foregone conclusion. But it wasn't. The Dragons. I didn't think they could keep it up for the full 80 minutes, but they proved me wrong. They proved a lot of people wrong here tonight. That's for sure. Great job for them. Well done, Dragons. 14 points to 12. I don't think anybody saw that coming. Absolutely incredible. All right. We will have a break. And I'll be back in an hour or so for the Warriors Storm. See you then. Cheers.